Dr. Vicki Haspels and I'm the Tarot Coach, and this is the weekly forecast for week commencing 28th of July 2025. Each week I like to bring through guidance from the wisdom of the tarot using my deck, the Mythic Tarot, and my psychic abilities and messages from Spirit to bring through guidance for the week ahead. And I'll explain as we go what each card represents, and let's begin. So the first card I like to choose is called the Influence card. So the Influence card for this week is the Emperor. Now the Influence card represents all the energy, weaves its way through all the other cards of this reading for the week. The Emperor represents stability and authority in a different way to the King of Swords represented last week. This authority is much more kind and much more not as rigid and as strict. The Emperor can be rigid and strict, but I've got a really nice warm feeling about this. It's a very, because the Emperor is the father figure in the major arcana, I'm getting a nice warm feeling of what a fatherly figure would do. Authoritative, yes, but with a warmth added to it. And I just want to remind everybody that even if you didn't have a great relationship with your own father, consider what the archetype of a father would be and use that as your analogy to weave this authority and somebody who is very stable and also who has empathy and cares for us. So, as a parent would. Okay, so the next card we're looking at is the Conscious Self. What are we aware of this week? What are we acting out? Here we have the Ten of Wands. The message I'm getting around the Ten of Wands is consciously we are going to be very aware of those things that we have taken on that are now weighing us down. They will be extraneous to our moving forward. And so then they're going to be right in our face. It's like, okay, I've got all this stuff. I didn't realize I was carrying this burden around. Now I can see it. I can't unsee it. So there's an opportunity to divest yourself of those responsibilities, but not all at once. It's not like going like this, because look how he's got everything on his shoulders. One by one by one. Just think about that game, pick up sticks, where you just pick up one stick at a time. But we'll be aware of it. It''ll be right in our faces about how much extra we've got sitting on our shoulders. And the message keeps coming through, once you know, you can't unknow. So it's time to face that music of the extra that we're carrying around. So the next card is the Unconscious Self. What is it that our guidance and our soul is relaying to us to help us through this at the moment? And here we have the Queen of Swords. So we're looking at the Queen of Swords is the truth teller. She is the mother figure in this instance. We've got the Emperor, who represents the father, the figure of authority and stability, creating a safe place for us to be this week so that we can, not creating a safe place. He's representing a safe place for us if we want to embrace it. That's interesting. That's different. So he's the Emperor as the influence is providing a safe place if we want it, if we want to embrace that safe place, to be able to divest ourselves of those extra responsibilities so we can perhaps even give it across to the Emperor, because that's what he does. He is the person who shoulders those things. So with that, the Emperor in this instance represents the spirit world or universe. If you think about your guides and angels, just pass across those things that you no longer need to carry around with you to your guides and angels, to the universe, or whoever your God is. The Queen of Swords is going to keep us on track. Remember I said, because it kept coming through with the Ten of Wands, it's like, it's going to be right in your face. If you try and say, oh, no, I can still carry that around, she's going to come in and say, nah, If you know it, you can't unknow it. She's going to keep you on track. She's the truth teller. She's very good. She represents the mother in this case, as in an archetype of a mother, but she's the one who doesn't let you get away with any rubbish. It's like she doesn't come in hard, but she'll go, So whenever you feel like, oh, yeah, you know what? That I don't actually need to carry that around. That's her in action. That's your soul and guidance letting you know. Okay, so the next card we're looking at is the guidance. The challenges and blocks and fears. So what is it that we are pushing up against? And this is a part of ourself, our growth part, that we are that pushes against us, that we are carrying around with us. So this is like a learning space. What is it we're learning about ourselves, and what is pushing against us to prevent us from freeing us from responsibilities that we don't need to carry around? Look at the Hierophant's turned up again. So in this instance, it's about what we have understood. He's a teacher, right? Again, he's another teacher. Queen of Swords is a teacher, but he's a different type of teacher. He's the teacher where we understand something about ourselves and the universe and how energy works. You're in my world here, so we're going to talk about energy. So the Hierophant represents that part of ourselves that says, you know what? I've actually learned this lesson, but I'm not living my lesson. And so where we are carrying around those extra responsibilities, the Emperor is creating a safe place for us to do this work this week. Queen of Swords is not going to let us get away with it. And the Hierophant says, well, you know this. So as an example, if you know that meditation works for you in order to help you to alleviate some burdens in your life, and you turn your back on your meditative practice, then that's you turning your back on knowledge that you've already gained. And that's the Hierophant in action. He's there to remind you, or to boost those parts of you that you know work. Let's bring them up into the light. No longer burying them. These are your practices. These are the things that you know work. He's going to keep reminding you. So don't brush them off. Oh, I don't have time for meditation. I'm not going to pull a card today. What else is there? I'm not going to go and talk to my therapist, or talk to my best friend, or talk to somebody who's going to help me. Or I'm not going to, do that good thing for myself, go and do some exercise or eat some good food. Whatever it is that you have learned and are living, is going to ask you to walk your talk. That's what you're turning your back on, and that's what you're going to be reminded of. But nobody else can help you other than you. You're going to have to own this practice. And that's what the Hierophant is asking you to do. Let's now start putting these things into practice that you know are good for you. How are we going to react, behave? Our reaction, our action. Ooh, look at that, 10 of Pentacles. Good on you. I'm going to say yay for us this week, because you know what? We are going to enact things that are going to help us feel at home and settled and comfortable. This is the outward expression of the Emperor. So that means that the Emperor is getting through. Oh my goodness, how good is that? That means that we're listening. So the only way that this can be enacted is if we listen to that little fear that says, I don't have time for meditation. I don't want to do that practice. That's good for me. Or whatever it is that works for you, whether it's like, Tai Chi or something that connects you to the soul part of you, the wisdom part of you. I'm not going to read that book. I'm not going to do that course. I'm not going to practice those things. That's what the Hierophant is asking you to do. The things that you know work for your soul. You too can slide into the 10 of Pentacles, which is comfort, family, security, whatever it is, whether it's a chosen family or whether it's your own family, whatever it is that makes you feel safe at home. We're needing that by the sounds of it this week. So what does this mean for our possible future? Let's say we're putting all those things in place. We're divesting ourselves of extra responsibility that we don't need anymore. We know this. What's going to happen? Good. Nine of Swords. What? Okay. Let's talk about the Nine of Swords. So, this means that this week is all about facing our inner fears. And I'm talking about the fears, the trauma that we have held. We're not going to be living trauma, but the things that pop up in our mind that torment us over and over and over again because of something that may have happened once upon a time that has nothing to do with the trauma that's stored in our body. So our mind is going to start going over and over and over. That is what's coming for us this week. That's why it's very important to get your practices in place, to divest yourself of the things that you don't need to be carrying around. Whatever extra responsibility you're carrying around and you don't need to do it, get rid of it. Get yourself nice and settled. Listen to your conscience when it tells you, no, that you're telling yourself a story about that. Listen. Because we are in for a little bit of a rough ride. And that's us attacking ourselves. Nothing external. It's us telling ourselves war stories and trauma stories this week. This tells me that it's a really good time this week to be able to face that and release it. Face it and release it. And that is a Ten of Pentacles. That was right from the get-go. You can't not face what it is that's overburdening you now, because we are tired of carrying around all the mental trauma that goes with it. Whatever you're carrying around on your shoulders that you don't need anymore, start divesting it. And the only way that you can do that is to put your spiritual practices into practice. You don't have to go and learn anything new. You already know what they are. What is our karmic lesson or our soul journey, soul purpose lesson this week? Strength. Love it. Do you know what the Strength card represents? It represents that we have that power in ourselves, in our own hands, to be able to function as a fully whole adult human being. The Strength card is there overruling everything. We are stepping into being that person that can take care of ourselves, and we have with the things that we have in our own hands. That's what the Strength card is all about. See, he's tackling the line with his own hands. He's put all of his weapons down, all of those little rituals that we do. We have that power within. And so this week's, I want to say trials, or understanding of going through these things and tackling our self-sabotage thoughts, because we can reduce them by doing those things that I talked about at the beginning. We can reduce that mental torment by putting in those other things into practice. We will learn how to trust ourselves, and we will stand strong in that trust. Nothing will be able to touch us. It is all about building our stability and using the energy of spirit to create the safe space, or to allow it in, surrender into it, because that safe space is already there. And by enacting these things this week, we will be able to recognize it and live it, trust it. Anyway, that's the weekly forecast for week commencing 28th of July 2025. My name is Dr. Vicki Haspels. I'm the Tarot Coach. Have a lovely week. Drop in the comments how you're going. I'll be checking in on the socials. And I will see you next week. Thanks for listening. Mwah. Bye for now.